Honourable Tariana Tiria.
Tēnā tātou te whare. In Christmases past, my grandmother would always insist that we set aside a place at the table to remember those who'd passed on during the year. And so, as we stand in this, our last debate of the year, I take time to remember those who've touched our lives beyond compare, whose legacy lingers on in our hearts as we strive to live up to their ideals. Ka tangi tonu te ngākau, ki te hunga kua mene atu ki te pō, ko te toko nui kua ngaro atu e moe e oki. E tangi tonu ana taku ngākau mō e parikura. Ko tāua tērā e para te huarahi I roto I tēnei whare, I roto I te whakaro kotahi, arā he oranga no ngai tātou, ngā whānau, ngā hapu, ngā hāpori. Kia tātou te hunga-ora, tēnā tātou. The adjournment debate is traditionally a time for the political tally to be totted up, for assessment against policy targets, numbers of releases issued, bills passed, questions asked, and everything that other political parties claim that is wrong. So how does the Māori Party review progress in 2013? For Tūroro Flavel, our newly anointed co-leader, the highlight would be competing in Iron Māori, racing to the end with his baby daughter as support, his wife and other daughter firmly at his side. For Papa Pita, this is the year his first mokopuna tuarua came into the world, and life will never be the same again. The Tūria whānau counts this Christmas as one in which we are truly blessed. We are thankful for the strength and resilience of our children and our mokopuna, our brush with ill health causing our entire whānau to re-evaluate all that is important in our lives, and we know that it is all about whānau. And so I turn to you, Mr Speaker, to your deputies and indeed to every member of Parliament in this House, and I acknowledge the hefty sacrifice that this job places on all your families. For some politicians, progress is measured against the headlines of today. For the Māori Party, we calculate success and the impact on the next generation. We are thrilled with the stories of whānau transformation that are coming through, in which whānau are strengthening relationships, gaining skills and confidence, feeling inspired to look towards the future where before they could not see beyond the challenges that they faced. Over the last quarter, for an instance, more than 5,500 whānau were engaged with whānau ora, representing approximately 28,000 whānau members. Included in this number are 2,763 whānau who engage with navigators, helping whānau to build their capacity to meet their needs. In the disability sector, we are seeing a similar spirit of revolution occur through the Enabling Good Lives approach, in which disabled persons work with their families and support agencies to determine what services they need to help them to achieve their goals. I've been so proud of the difference that has been made by Enabling Good Lives and through the Thinking Differently project, in which our attitudes and behaviours around disability are the focus. The recent controversy around building accessibility has reminded government of the basic rule that disabled persons live by: nothing about us without us. My key priority in this area next year will be embedding the Enabling Good Lives approach across every sector of government. As a political party, we have been resolute in our goal to eliminate social hazards from the lives of our whānau. My colleague, Tūroro Flavel, has been determined to support our whānau to be free of the damage caused by problem gambling. While his member's bill was broadly condemned, there are a few other politicians in this House who have tried every avenue to achieve zero tolerance towards gambling harm, and I mihi to him for his efforts. We cannot let this year go by without drawing attention to the harmful precedent created by the deal that the government drew up with Sky City against the very best interests of families. We also know that the most significant issue that is affecting all our social and health issues amongst our families has to be about the abuse of alcohol. I've been heartened by the clear progress we have achieved in tobacco reform. The 2013 census shows results The number of smokers in New Zealand has dropped by nearly a quarter since the 2006 census. The smoke-free sector must be congratulated for their absolute commitment to educate our communities about the negative effects tobacco has on our health. It is also evident that the impact of government legislation, including increases in excise tax, is massive in helping us to achieve the goal to be smoke-free by 2025. Of course, we cannot be complacent, and I look forward to the cooperation of the House in progressing the plain packaging legislation next year as well, and I hope to see changes in the sale of duty-free tobacco and the incidence of smoking in cars with children in them. As a party, we remain bitterly disappointed at the limp record achieved in alcohol reform, and I want to take this opportunity to support those local heroes around our communities who have taken it upon themselves to tread where the government has failed in speaking up to protect their communities from the impact of liberal liquor licensing. By far the most significant barrier for our families to advance has been in the insidious effects of poverty, the lack of progress in establishing a living income, the ongoing struggle for too many families to gain meaningful employment. The Māori Party challenged our collective efforts into addressing poverty through the budget process, and we are proud of the amazing changes that have been seen through $100 million investment in home insulation, the increased targeting of funding to address rheumatic fever, the $43 million accorded to Māori and Pacifica trade training, and we would, however, acknowledge that these are but a step in the right direction, and there is so much more action required on all fronts. We are particularly alarmed, as the Child Poverty Monitor revealed early this week, that the rate of child poverty severity where households are both income poor and experiencing material hardship is twice as high for Māori and Pacifica children aged 0 to 17 years than for the New Zealand population. We're alarmed by research, such as that by Dr. Fiona Ells, that there are bigger differences in mathematics performance between rich and poor children in New Zealand than many other countries. So it is harder to do well in New Zealand if you are poor than in other places. Why is that? No politician can ignore these ongoing injustices, the inequitable outcomes experienced by some populations, which make a mockery of our past ideal to a fair and democratic society. There is much to be done. We look forward to progress on the Māori language strategy. We welcome the permeation of a new mindset described in the Māori Economic Development Strategy, Kei Kai Akuringa, a mindset that encourages departments to see progress as Māori-led and government-supported. And we have many other ideas in progress: a greater focus on the prevention of family violence, progress in seeing iwi and Māori housing providers benefit from stock transfer, a new direction for Māori wardens, greater opportunities for Pacifica communities in health and social development. Our appetite for whānau transformation across all sectors is able to be achieved because of the amazing commitment of dedicated staff in our ministerial offices, and the leaders' units, the departmental advisors, fully deserve a summer vacation after a very challenging year. The staff of the Office of the Clerk, the Library, Hansard and our Māori interpreters have also been a key source of support, and we thank them all. I want to especially mention our cleaners, who go beyond the call of duty for very minimal return, our security staff, messengers, telephonists, gardeners and other branches of parliamentary service who have suffered staffing cuts and yet never compromise on the highest quality of service to us all. There are many wonderful people across the precinct who make our lives easier, but I want to particularly single out Mary Harris for her expert wisdom, the Table Office for their support in the House, the staff of Copperfields and Bellamy's, the IT team, the Buildings and Finance staff, the VIP drivers, the Cabinet Office team and all the friends and colleagues we have made along the way. I want to acknowledge the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister who continue to demonstrate their willingness to establish an effective political relationship from which we can do our utmost to make a difference for whānau right across the land. Our lives have been completely dedicated towards supporting our whānau to be the best that they can be, and through you, Mr Speaker, we acknowledge every single member of this Parliament who in their own way are also committed to a similar journey. I wish you all a restful summer. Thank you for your cooperation and your challenges, and we look forward to 2014, the year in which the Māori Party will celebrate our 10th year with the excitement of a vibrant new line-up to contest the general election, but more importantly to act in the best interests of generations to come.
Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Speaker, this is the time of year when most people's minds start to turn towards the coming holiday period and start to think positively about what